company.
It's breezy.
Running. Working on myself, I need to shine. Shorty fell in love with a star. Nike on my kicks, I need a ball. Missing on that ass, I got a call. Baby, come and tell me, would you ride with me? Ride with me. Maybe you could talk to me. Anything, baby, would you shine with me? Side with me. Girl, I know it's dangerous, I need your company. Baby, tell me, would you ride with me? Ride with me. Maybe you could talk to me. Anything, baby, would you shine with me? Side with me. Girl, I know it's dangerous, I need your company.
Our brothers and sisters, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, males, females, and also the LGBTQI community plus. Welcome to yet another episode of NicD Conversations. I'm your host, Nicholas. Follow me there on IG to stay updated on the upcoming episodes and also about updates of the channel itself. My IG handle is at Nico_Nicolax. So make sure that you follow me and also don't leave this channel without subscribing, especially if you are a student. This is a channel where we will be talking about student matters and everything evolving around students. So today, as you can see, as usual, I'm not alone. I have my two lovely... Is it proper to say lovely to gents? Yeah, I have two I have my two brothers here on my left. Just introduce yourselves, guys, to the viewers.
All right, my name is NicD. I'm the current Deputy Secretary of SASCO at the University of the Free State main campus.
No, greetings, revolutionaries and the children of Africa. This is Qiniseko Ngubane, and I am the ground force of the Economic Freedom Fighters Student Command, and I'm from the University of the Free State.
Okay, before we dwell much deep into it, because Vele, the mandate is to hear, I want to hear some matters regarding the upcoming elections. Now I want to understand, you said you are the secretary of the SASCO, right? And you said you are the ground force of EFFSC. Okay. So what are your duties as the secretary of SASCO? And yeah.
All right, I'm the deputy. So meaning there's the secretary there. So I become a supporting figure within the office of the secretariat. You'd understand that the office of the secretariat runs the administration of the organization. As opposed to the chairperson will just give direction to where the organization must go. But anything when it needs implementation administratively, we're there. We need to ensure that ranging from social media statements, communication of the organization in that regard, it falls squarely within my office, and that is my role within the organization.
Okay, shout out. Crown Force, what is your role or what is your duty as the Crown Force?
No, man, it's not that much, man. But what we do, as we canvass, my brother, we fetch numbers. I think that's just about it. We teach people about the organization. We teach people about the politics. I think that's it's not more than that.
And I would like to believe that your main target are students, you personally. I would say you're mainly targeting students.
Yeah, I think it's the students and the youth of South Africa. Because when I'm back home, I think that is where I do most of my groundwork. Because mostly here, mostly people are informed, but you still need to try. Yeah, but we try here, but mostly I do most of my work back home, because that's where I get to engage with a lot of people, the unemployed ones, the ones who've never gotten the privilege of pursuing higher education, and even those ones, because I work a lot with high school students, those learners. So I think that is where I do most of my work.
So I would like to believe that you're both into politics. What would you say to someone like me who is not registered to vote, given that the national elections are coming soon? What would you say to someone like me?
No, I think historically you need to understand where we come from as a country. With the regime of the apartheid regime having taken the right of the people to elect their own government and their own representative, because at a certain point in time you'd understand that it was only a minority that voted for who governs the country to the exclusion of the majority, and the majority is the black people. So in that regard, you must understand that I think us as the youth, we take voting very, very lightly. But when you speak to our parents, you understand how much it means to them to vote, because it was a right taken away from them. So young people must slowly but surely enter the space of politics, because you cannot run away from politics, right? Everything around you is affected by politics, and it determines. You and I are sitting here like this, having a conversation in this setting because of certain political dynamics that have happened. We are studying at the University of the Free State because of politics. Some of us are unemployed because of politics. Some of us don't have electricity, are employed because of, the food that you eat, the prices thereof. So you must understand that it's always politics that are surrounding your lives, and you cannot really detach yourself from it.
And I also think, sorry, my brother, it's also politics that we are able to have to sit down and have these kind of conversations, because other countries do not have the privilege of speaking about the current state of the government, or rather even trying to campaign. If you remember, some other countries, they even rig elections, or it don't even allow other political parties to try and critique their organization or try to critique the government. It's a crime in other countries. So also I think our politics, it's just that way. It allows us to have such conversations. And also with people like you, I think I will have to say it. If you are not registered to vote, it's high levels of being irresponsible. I think that one is something we have to say. You are very much irresponsible, and you do not understand the sacrifices that our fellow black people had to make so that we can be able to have that privilege of voting. So I think next time we need to do better, because now it's already late for people to get registered to vote. But next time we need to do better.
Okay, for future reference, because I think now can I still register to vote?
No,
Okay, so for future reference, how do I go on about choosing the most suitable election political party? For example, I'm from Limpopo. Julius Malema is from Limpopo. Do I support a brother from home, or do I support ANC because yellow is my favorite color? How do I go on? Oh, the come is a challenge. So how does one go on about, especially someone like me who is not really that much vested into politics? Because also I feel like it doesn't make sense for me to just go and vote for ANC. I don't think that's responsibility. I feel like there are measures, there's a research that I have to do in with regard to selecting the most suitable party. So what are the means that I have to take before actually voting?
This other time I had a conversation with this other brother. He said it's like choosing a partner, a romantic partner, if I may say. There are certain things you need to look for in a political party. Number one, you need to check their manifesto. I think each and every political party, it's only one that hasn't released an official manifesto, and they are doing it on the 18th. Also, we need to run away as much as possible from that thing of I'm going to support this person because we are from the same region or same province. I'm going to support this person because of we are from the same tribe. I also think that's one of our biggest problems in this country. There are people who support people because this person is colored, this person is white, I'm also white, this person is Zulu, I'm also Zulu. It's wrong, that thing. Yeah, but then once again, it's like choosing a partner. You need to pick certain things, and you need to check the pros and cons. If there are more pros than cons, then I think you need to move with a specific political party. And I'm not sure in the case of the ruling party, but with other organizations, when you are picking, you need to base your thinking on the manifesto itself. I think the manifestos, they are very much informative about political parties and how the manifesto is structured. It tells you a lot about the organization. Yeah. Thank you very much there.
Yeah. I think I agree with him. Fully agree with him, because first and foremost, political parties present manifestos, right? And they are public. So you can go to the ANC website, you'll find the manifesto. You go to the EFF, you'll find it. You'll find it. As he said, it's only one political party. It's very still new. They're still excited, Shem. But so we need to get into, and perhaps that is what is making a lot of people not to register to vote and to vote, because they'll ask you, what must I vote for? But it's a certain level of having to go and find out and read and follow the politics so that you can understand. The right to vote goes with the right to choose, right? Those are rights that are there in the constitution that everybody must exercise. Understand? So those ones, there's an allegation of that the MK party is mobilizing people along tribal lines, right? It's from KwaZulu Natal, and their leaders from KwaZulu Natal, and all of those things. So, if that is found to be true, it's completely incorrect, right? Because the country that was fought for is a country that, in many ways, must not be found to be tribalistic, racial, and all of those things. So again, my last point is that political parties have ideologies. Understand? Now, I know it's probably a lot of work to go and then now study ideologies, but there's communism, there's capitalism, there's all of these things. So one must go and align with a party that speaks to that. Understand? Because if you want to go to the DA, you meaning that you automatically are saying to yourself that you align with capitalism and the structure of it in the economy. And then when you go to parties like the EFF and the ANC, you're speaking about socialist organizations. So that as well will play a role into what kind of, but the bare minimum, it must be what are they bringing realistically on the table and what are they delivering, I think.
Okay, I also want to, because you mentioned something about not just choosing a political party because it is a place where you come from, what. So I see you guys, you are wearing t-shirts, and I want to start by you, Qiniseko, because I see you are wearing an EFF t-shirt. The leader of EFF is from Limpopo, and you are Zulu. I know you, this guy is, he's as Zulu as he can get. He's as Zulu as he can get. Yeah, he's as Zulu as he can get. So, why EFF? Why? Because I don't think you are like, those people from the villages who Monday they are wearing a DA t-shirt, Tuesday they are wearing a ANC t-shirt for vibes. I don't think you guys actually, you just wear these things because they were free, because they were available, because you like the design. So let me start by you, Zulu man. Why EFF?
No,
Especially as a Zulu man.
I think it's one of those things, man. As someone who's 20 something years old, and I only made the decision when I reached my late teenage years of joining this organization. I think I lived most of my life as an ANC member. From the ages of 5, 6 there already, because around those times, not 5, 6, yeah, towards about 10, 11 there, around, yeah, from very, very early ages, we're already singing names like Jacob Zuma for president, Jacob Zuma for president. And I think where I'm from, my family was one of the first few families back then in the rural areas of Mpangeni. We were one of the first few families from Escort in Sasekaya to be ANC members. Where I'm from, people are IFP. Yabo, in Nkatha all the way. In Nkatha all the way. Yabo. Yeah. So where I'm from, we were one of the first few families to be ANC. And trust me, the backlash from Nkatha, you could feel it. You could feel it. And fortunate enough, at the time, at home, I was the only male as a kid. I was surrounded only by females. Yabo. So us, we never felt it that much. But if you were someone who's 20 something years old and you were found to be ANC, you faced very, very, I think the reciprocation from Nkatha, the way they received people from other organizations, it was not something you would prefer.
What would they do, dog? I'm curious. What would they
do? Lately, I'm not going to speak of the things they did there because but lately, now, I think the chairperson of KZN, he once did something very, very silly there in Ulundi. He tried to, I don't know what he was trying to challenge the royal family or something. And the same day, the people of Nkatha, they murdered people of ANC. They murdered people of ANC and babashaya lokho serious ukuthi ayindaba yokudlala. They murdered them lokho serious. And abakhethi ke ukuthi manje indoda umuntu wesifazane bashaya sa. Bashaya. Yabo. That's the reality. So even with us, people of EFF, I think it's a decision I made going into the 2019 elections. Okay, at that time I was also not registered to vote, but looking at the current state of where I come from, I was like, because I moved from the rural areas at the age of 12, 13 there. I went to a location, yabo. So I was like, it had been 6, 7 years nearly, and I'm like, these people, they are saying they've been ANC born since the early 1990s. Yabo, they've been voting ANC. Yabo. As soon as they got the privilege to vote, they voted ANC. But now, when you look from when you listen to the stories they tell you, they used to have a lot of shops there. In terms of there were a lot of businesses. Black people owned a lot of businesses. Also, how they operated, there hasn't been much progress since then. Yabo. So you are 20 years down the line, in 2019. You are 20 something years down the line. There still isn't much progress. So I'm like, I don't think this is the organization I'm going to die in. Unfortunately, ANC is not my organization. Also, at the time, my decision was also uninformed, but now I think it's much more informed. Yabo, I can be able to back my decision now. Because at the time I was like, these people, they are old, all of them. If you look at the
True. Even those ones who are doing camp drills, you see an old man doing TikTok challenge.
And me, I'm someone who I think I like making impulsive decisions. I would look at these people of ANC from around the cars and like, these people are driving Range Rovers and whatsoever. And when it's time for elections, they go to those people who live in RTPs. And there was a project of RTPs there. All those RTPs they built by 20 now, even now, they've embarked on a project to rebuild them, because all of them, they are like this. Yeah, but they are very small. This room is way too big. Probably it's half this side. You move from here to here, it's half. That's the RTP they built, and it's like this.
And it's not one person living in it.
It's not one person. It's like 4, 5, 6. Yeah, but, and they were very small, those RTPs. Now they've embarked on a journey to rebuild those RTP houses, because they knew from the beginning that they were not prop. Yeah. So I was like, where do you get the audacity to drive a Range Rover and go into an RTP and tell people, no, you must vote ANC? They've been doing so for the past 25 years.
Even now, I think I've been seeing ANC videos on TikTok. The president is going house to house, house to house, house to house. And then there was this other guy. He went to his house. That guy was like, Ramaphosa, fridge. I don't know if you saw that one. Did you see it? That guy asked the president to buy him a fridge. The president said, you are getting grant. I think grant is like, is it 1 point something or 2,000?
Is that guy a 350 person or?
It's an old person's grant.
Yeah. I think it's about 2,000 there.
It's around 2, 3. I'm not sure.
Yeah, 2,000 something there. Yeah.
And in addition to the president's response, he also told that guy he's a bricklayer. He also told him that you are a bricklayer. Go tell your employees that you want a fridge. I stand to be corrected, because you also watched that video, and I'm glad that you are the one who watched it, since it is your political party concerned. I think he said you must go to your employer and try to talk to them, whatever. So why didn't he buy him that fridge?
Yeah, I can't speak on behalf of Ramaphosa, but you are correct in relaying it. What happened there is that the guy was complaining about. He was jolly to see the president in his house, and he said, "No, I need a fridge." And the president said, "No, who's your employer?" He responded, and all of that. But I think the thinking behind it is that the president is unable to take money out of his pocket and say, here's this. I don't think, I don't know if they are allowed to do that, right?
It's going to be like they're buying.
Exactly. I don't know. But there were ways in which he could have handled it, maybe behind the scenes, and assisted. I can agree to that extent that there are ways. I mean, the president probably does not sit with 1,000 rands in his pockets or something.
And also doing something when we are quarter to elections, it doesn't look nice on the political party itself.
Yes.
So it's understandable. It's understandable.
He could have done it in another way. And I don't know. There was even one about a person asking for a job, and
Yeah,
I
and they
can't
said
remember.
keep trying.
Yeah, I can't remember even
fine.
that. But I read no that the person got a job. I don't know if it's from the government or it's something like that. But yeah, it's the nature of campaigns.
And then also, okay, and also you, my brother, because I think he answered the question.
Yeah.
I didn't answer your question, but yeah.
No, you actually didn't.
Yeah,
You
I
didn't.
didn't. I just vented. You know, there's a lot of things we need to, we want to vent, but
Yeah.
thank you very much. I didn't actually answer your question. That one I know. And the people who will watch this episode, they will be like, you see, these people of EFF, we always tell you about them. They never answer questions. They can't answer questions. But in a short, briefly, to answer your question, number one, I am a huge fan of Julius Malema. But the person who made me attracted to the organization was Dr. Mbuyisen Ndlozi. I think seeing a person who was that young at the time, who was very well articulated and well spoken at the and he sings very, very nicely, man. I think that is something we need to acknowledge about Dr. Mbuyisen. But he's someone who advocates for education, not just advocates for education. He's also a man of God. The way in which he conducts himself, I think in the next 10 years of my life, I would like to move slightly in that direction of Dr. Mbuyisen Ndlozi. He's someone who's well articulated. His policies, in the way in which he educates other people. I think now he's the head of political education there by the organization. I think that's one person who drew me to the organization. Then I made the decision, you know, that's my organization, and I'm gonna move with the organization. Everything that followed after, when I got into university, I got attracted into reading. I read more about the EFF. I listened more about the EFF. Then I was like, I'm standing my ground here. I am a person. I signed membership, and here I am now.
Has he answered my question?
I think so.
Okay, also another surprising matter, now that I think about it, his Zulu is supporting a person from Limpopo who is leading the party. Also, you are Naledi. Naledi, is Naledi Sotho Tswana, or
No, it's a Sotho name.
it's a Sotho name?
It's Naledi Mloine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
ANC is a vendor guy. I think Ramaphosa is a vendor person.
It's not petty.
No, he's vendor dog.
Yeah, it's vendor.
It's vendor.
He's vendor. So, why did you choose ANC? Because clearly it wasn't because it's someone from your hood or your region. Why ANC?
Yeah. First and foremost, there's no branch secretary of the ANC that will claim that they have my membership. Right? I am not a member of the ANC. I'm a member of SASCO.
Which is,
right?
yeah.
And of which I'll
Yeah,
I'll explain. I'll explain it now in responding to your in responding to your question. But I just wanted to make it clear that I'm from SASCO. So when I came to varsity, right, I started following politics at around grade 11, grade 10, 11, 12. Then that's when I started following politics and reading and watching the news. You understand? I was a very awkward kid. I wouldn't watch cartoons.
Yeah.
I'd watch news. So that's how I started getting active into politics. And then I came to to the University of the Free State at first. And I had to decide. And I was approached by both political parties, by the way. Right. And I had to go back and I went and I read up on both of them. Right. And now I'm answering that question. I'm answering both questions at the same time. You understand? So SASCO, when I went to read, I realized, okay, right now it's how many years old? It's 33 years old, I think, from 1993, if I'm not mistaken. And before that, if you read the history, it was breakaways from political parties. So at first it was NUSAS, and NUSAS accommodated both white. It was a predominantly white organization. Understand? And then Steve Biko joined in the NUSAS because they were scholars at universities. Understand? And then they came in and they realized that the arrogance, naturally white people will be arrogant, right? And they wouldn't necessarily hear them when they speak on matters that are affecting black students at that time. So they broke away and they formed another political party, and it was banned. And then there was ASASO, as an Indian student organization, and then they came back. The SASO was unbanned, And then come 1993, then they had to reconciliate all the breakaways, Azaso, Nusas, and they then came together, and then they created what we know as SASCO now.
Yeah.
You understand? So it is that long history that you read up on it and what happened on that drew me to it, and its values that it stood for at that time, because you'd understand at that time education was a privilege. I mean, it was for certain people with a certain pigment
Yes, yes.
of color on their skin. So when it started talking about opening the doors of learning to everyone, then it's the message that even the EFF speaks to. So ideological, I don't think we differ a lot with the EFF. We speak the same language. Understand? So then when it was at the brink of democracy, remember then Mandela got released when 1991.
1991, yes.
Yeah, understand. And then they went into negotiations and all of that. So SASCO had to then, upon its establishment, it had to then align with an organization at that time, with an organization that shared its values. You understand? That spoke its language in terms of education and higher institutions of learning. And that's how they then aligned with it. We aligned with it on the basis of policies, ideology, and the NDR in general, right? So that is what informed my decision at that time, right? And that's what drew me to it. It's the history of the organization that drew me to it, and yeah. Well, at that time, I was still new at the University of the Free State, so I took the decision by then, and yeah.
So you are with ANC. Okay, let me take back my words. You are with SASCO because of its history.
Yes, but now I because I'm with SASCO, I can't necessarily just detach myself from the ANC, because the SASCO is in alliance with the ANC. You understand? So but these things are membership based, right? Yeah. But my relationship with the ANC, it's organizational. You understand? Organizationally speaking, as a leader of SASCO, you must be able to uphold the relationship between the ANC and SASCO.
Okay, that being said, do you think I want to ask you directly, and then Tony Sego, you'll just comment on it. Do you think as a country we can trust ANC with another term of ruling the country?
There has been many things that have been happening in the country historically, right? In terms of delivery of services to the people. You understand? The ANC, as we speak, has came out and has spoken about how it has to, what do they call it? Renewal. So renewal, in essence, says we agree we made mistakes. Understand? Relating to corruption, relating to maybe no services to the people. You understand? But the track record of the ANC and its impact on the people cannot be downplayed. Understand? And that is what we bring. I think that is what they bring to the table. Understand? They bring a track record of some nature, although it is flawed here and there, but they bring a track record of some nature to the people. And we are not speculating and saying in the future we'll do X, Y, and Z. There's been things that they've done they've built universities, they've built hospitals, they've did roads, houses, water, basic services to the people. The only thing that I feel like the ANC has not really outdid itself on, apart from service delivery, it's things on an ideological level. So when we're speaking about land, when we're speaking about taking the economy back to the hands of the people, in the majority, speaking about owning the means of production, speaking about changing the tide, in that regard, I think that they need to do much more in terms of that. Understand? I mean, there was a certain point in time where the ANC had a 2/3 majority to take back the land, for instance. You understand? So, and so they just, it's my personal view, and my comrades know about it. I tell them every day that where it fails the most, and I think it's because of its character, because the EFF, for instance, is a Marxist Leninist organization, which speaks mainly to black consciousness. It speaks mainly to ensuring that the organization, its character is like that. So this side, it's a broad church. Whether you're a capitalist or you are a socialist or anything of that nature, we welcome you. And therefore, in its nature, it would mean that repeatedly, the people that will come there, some will take you this direction, some will take that direction, because we are not inclined as an organization to one political ideology. Understand? So that is where I feel like. So in essence, I'm saying historically. Understand? If you can look at the work that they've done historically, then we can make up our minds and say yes.
We can trust them.
Yes.
No, thank you very much, man. I think one thing I will never do in my life is to take up a platform and lie to the people of South Africa and say ANC has done absolutely nothing. There I will be lying. It's something I will never do. Yabo. So I will start by saying the ANC has made certain contributions, especially towards the black people. I think they've tried to a certain level to restore the dignity of a black person, especially in South Africa and other marginalized communities. Yabo. But I think once again, it's a problem of, have they done everything that is within their power as an organization? And the answer is no. I think where they struggle the most is systems that are going to make the country even much more sustainable, even its people. It's thereby sustainability, where now you get an organization like the EFF. Because I think that thing of economic freedom, it's something that the current leaders of the EFF were preaching while they were still members of NC Youth League. Yabo. So I think I will not say they've done, I will be lying when I say they've done nothing. They have tried, but unfortunately, we also need to point out the fact, to a certain level, they also failed. Yabo. And I think at this point, now they are no longer trying. I think they are past that stage of trying. Yeah. Now things are on flight mode. Because if you even if you look at their campaign this year, especially the other members of the ANC, if you go there by social media platforms, you see the people they're using to campaign now. It's those people with warmer frontals. When you look and when people like on TikTok, they were saying when you look at Come to the Challenge, look at the background of the people who are dancing to the challenge. Yes. It's never people with that T-shirt with the head of Ramaphosa or the head of Jacob Zuma or the one with the head of Thabo Mbeki. No, it's those golfers. Over 350 golfers, 450 golfers. Something an average South African would not want to buy. Yabo. And now it speaks to their target markets also. They still preach what we are for black people, we are for marginalized communities, but when you look at the actual practices, it's no longer the same. And the problem is, some of us, we still love and respect the organization. Yeah, sure. I think most of us, the people of EFF, we still love and respect the organization, especially historically, looking where the organization comes from. But I think it's about time the organization handed over the reins to the people who still have the stamina to take the country forward. Because I do not believe the organization still has that. Even the leaders they have. When you look at youth level, especially there by SASCO, forget NC Youth League. They've been dead ever since Malema left the organization. So people, even though they might say we are not ANC, we don't have membership. Yeah, but when you listen to them, those people are well articulated, they still have the brains. But one thing that is not going to happen, they will not get the platform there by ANC. Unfortunately, the line is very long. The line is very long. The next time we will have, I don't think we stand more chances of having a president who's less than 60 years of age, even there by DA, compared to the ANC. I don't think we will see an ANC president who's below the age of 60. I don't think it's going to happen. If my brother here has dreams of being a president of the country through, I think that by parliament members, it's much more better.
Yeah, they are young people.
Yeah. They are trying to introduce the young people now. Yeah, because they are seeing what age now they need to start grooming those people who take the organization forward, even though it's a slow process. Yeah, so I think it's about time the mighty African National Congress handed over the reins. And I think people like Naledi here, the ones who are just SASCO members, I think it's still people as economic freedom fighters who we can still recruit, especially going into the 29th of May. I think it's people who, because of their understanding of the two organizations, I think it's still people we can recruit, man. No, I think you can bet on the economic freedom fighters. Their votes are still, yeah, because they are still in their right minds. So we can try to say, no, my brother, but I think I can convince you, yabo. So kusaba vote alahlile, awalahlile wona kodwa alahlile, yabo, yeah. But nje, I think that one of handing over, I think it's about time, my brother.
This gentleman is saying ANC has lost its stamina in EFF has the stamina. It has what it takes.
Look, the element of older people is very problematic within the ANC, and more must be done by young people. Understand? Make no mistake, my brother. The ANC knows what it must do. If you can go and read their policies, they know. They know. The problem is the implementation of those things. You understand? And maybe, as he's saying, but the young people must come in the ANC and try and run after that. But it's a process, that thing, because they believe in generational mix with the old people and the young people and all of those things. So I was looking at their party list right now, going to the National Assembly, and efforts were made to ensure that they include a lot of young people there. In the NEC in the past, I think they had their conference in 2022. Yes, the last conference, national conference, they had it in 2022. And their secretary general, as we speak, is a fairly young person, although he's surrounded by very older, in the older generation. But if you can look at from the secretary general, the TG, it's fairly young people that, but more has to be done. I agree, in terms of including young people in structures that are in leadership. And then young people must rise within the politics of the ANC if they want to save the ANC and want to ensure that it's a force to be reckoned with. They must fight to enter those spaces. Otherwise, old people are not just going to say now, bamboo machine.
Yeah,
they won't do that. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. So a lot must be done in that regard.
But as much as a lot must be done, remember that we are now heading into another term. We now need another ruling party. What are you saying? Are you saying we can trust ANC? As you said that they know what they must do. Can we trust ANC to do what they know that they have to do? Or should we hand it over to another political party, which can hopefully do better?
I can't sit here and say they must hand it over.
No, I'm not saying
I can't say that. No, but I understand where you're coming from. If the ANC is in a position, genuinely so, to rectify itself and recleanse itself and to position itself as an organization that our forefathers died for, right? Then I can say, then they must be given a chance. But if they do not commit to that, and commitment is another thing. You mean I can commit to my girlfriend that I'll be loyal and then cheat? You understand? So if the commitment is genuine, you understand? If the commitment is genuine that we want to change and cleanse ourselves and be like that, then we can simply say that yes, they must be given a chance.
I think once again, one thing we need to address as a country, I think it's that conversation I was having with you. Sometimes, as the people of South Africa, we need to look past organizations. We need to think, I think for this situation and for this leadership position, this is the better candidate. I was telling my brother here, last year when we went into SRC elections, the people I voted for, okay, I knew the president candidate, I knew the DP, I knew the first generation also, then I knew policies and transformation. But the other three, I'm not sure if I knew them, especially it was treasurer, the person of commuter,
secretary.
then also, yes. Also, the secretary. Okay, the secretary, I had seen her face around, but not to a personal level. The other four, I think I was familiar with their work. Yeah, but the other three, I voted for them, yes, because it's organization wise, but I was not familiar with their work. Yeah, especially compared to the SASCO candidates. Yeah, because I think the SASCO candidates, the one of secretary, is someone who I knew to a personal level. Yeah, and I knew their capabilities. But then it was a thing of, now let's say I try to balance things. Because in my first year I was like, it's SASCO, it's EFF, I will just see how, because there are people I know, there are people whom I don't know, and they also just try to pick however I want to pick. Yeah, so now it was a thing of, now if it happens, which I gamble with these votes, and SASCO wins, it might be a problem, especially given the fact that we are going into national elections next year. And now SASCO has complete control of the campus. Because even the presidential candidates of SASCO last year, it's someone whom I'm very fond of. But unfortunately, dynamics, they wouldn't allow me to vote for the person. Yeah, but they wouldn't allow me to vote for the person because I might be gambling with influence here. Because now we will have these yellow t-shirts. Because as much as I'm aware of what SASCO does not mean ANC. Because as student command means EFF, we are one. Yeah, we are one. SASCO does not mean ANC. But an average South African does not know what SASCO does not mean ANC.
I didn't know that.
Exactly. Yes. You see, an average South African does not know what SASCO does not mean ANC. Yeah, so if ever they see what, no, if SASCO can still win students over, it means SASCO is serving students. A mother who's back home, who's going to come and their child says, no, SASCO is serving us properly this year. The mother will say, if SASCO is still serving our students, then I think ANC is still the right organization to go to. Because they think what SASCO is ANC. Yeah, and it wouldn't be wrong because they are thinking it's the same people. Yeah, so I was like, you know what? My brothers will forgive me, my brothers and sisters, but I think this time around I will have to do it for the organization itself. And I tried canvassing where it was possible, and I used the little influence that I had. People must vote student command. Yeah,
no, just to chip in terms of elections at the institution, it's a serious debate that we ought to have and realize, you understand? Because the point you was making is that sometimes you'll vote, but you basically are not voting for the capabilities of a person, but it's just organizational discipline. Even myself, Shem, even if I thought that the president here was the best president, I would have never voted for them. You understand? Because why? Organizationally, internally, we are taught that you draw the line. You understand? You draw the line. Student activism at the University of the Free State has somehow dilapidated. Understand? It has somehow deteriorated to an extent whereby we accept the bare minimum. You understand? And so the point I'm trying to drive across is that we have centralized student activism around NSFAS. You know, if tomorrow NSFAS can fix its issues, all of them, and there are no crisis with appeals, no crisis with funding, and it's a well-oiled machine, we won't have voices as student organizations. Why do I say that? Because we centralize in student activism around one thing. But there's a variety of things that are affecting students, especially domestically at the University of the Free State. Matters pertaining to outstanding fees, the outstanding debt, matters pertaining to safety of campus. Of students. You understand?
Too much.
But political organizations do not sit down and speak about these things. You understand? And this is a conversation I have a lot with even them. They can tell you, the leaders of the EFF, that I do not become very hostile to them because they are from political. My man, we can enter a venue and fight. When we move out there, we are friends and we speak as normal human beings. So we have this conversation at that level to say, but this is the direction that student activism, not SASCO, must move in, because we are serving the same constituency that are facing the same issues. You understand? And we know what needs to do because our policies guide us in that regard. So students have been saying, but why can't these people come together? And it's impossible. It's impossible organizational. But what are they saying is that you guys are fighting, or your scope of work is around one thing, and you need to serve certain interests. So why are you not moving in a direction that is that? Why are you dividing us? You understand? So student activism at the University of the Free State must redefine itself. It must redefine itself, and start looking at matters that really pertain to the majority that they are affected. When we speak about NSFAS matters, and I'm not downplaying the issues, I'm not downplaying the issues. We can say out of, the University of the Free State, I'm just not sure of the figures, but I think we're ranging to around about 30-something thousand students.
Yes.
You understand? And about 70% of those students, or 60%, I'm pretty sure that they're funded by NSFAS.
Yes.
You understand? So that's the majority. Now, when we speak about those that are affected, and you'll see it when we have protests, you understand? That when there's issues, there might be, for instance, now there's an issue of students that NSFAS has not settled their debts from 2 years back or a year back, and now they're failing to register and all of those things. You look at the number and you get a number of about 130 students out of a lot of students that are funded and don't have issues. So the point I'm driving across is that it becomes impossible that now, when you solve that 138 students there, and then what next? Then political organizations sit back and say, no, it's fine. We're done. We're done. So that is the point that I'm driving across, that if we are unable to redefine it, we're going to be in a crisis. Because when you listen to where student activism at the University of the Free State was, even leaders of it, they're like,
And if we are being honest, that thing of student organizations focusing mostly on NSFAS. Number one, I think the issues, especially the Izaga one, it's an issue that is beyond campus presidents.
No.
It's an issue that is beyond campus presidents. And the mere fact that last year we still had presidents who were promising us, and I even told some of the people whom I was speaking with last year, you can't come to us as a candidate of campus president and say, hey, I will fight Isaac. It's beyond you. You can't fight Isaac. And for students to say, I voted for that person because he said he's going to fight Isaac, it's problematic. You can't fight Isaac as a campus president. It's something that even these institutions, they are against it, but they can't fight it. You see, it's problematic while you have more pressing issues. I think last year, after July, I think almost every week I would see the people whom I speak to on Instagram posting someone new who has went missing in Bloemfontein.
And now it also has started. I don't know if you have noticed. I think we had 2 deaths in the last 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, but it was a problem. No one. I was like, no, but even us, we have girlfriends, we have sisters around Bloemfontein. Yeah, but so them not being this unsafe around Bloemfontein, it's problematic. We are, I think, in my first year, when I came here in 2020, if I'm not mistaken, there were conversations around having student shuttles from the university itself. It's a conversation that I don't know where that conversation ended, Yabo. And I think it's a conversation, if there was a conclusion and it was not towards the benefits of the students, it's a conversation we need to revisit. Yabo. It's a conversation we need to revisit. Universitas is very much unsafe. Brandbach is very much unsafe. Willows is very much unsafe. And one of the excuses that I heard was that you can't take students, the students are scattered around Bloemfontein. And I was saying it's sad, because people who stay at schools. If there's a bus that goes straight to schools, placing me in the corner of my street is better than me moving from campus straight to schools. It's better. It's better. Taking me and leaving me there by next to clubhouse, and I need to walk just a street away, then I get to my place. It's better than me moving from here and walking straight to small street. It's better.
Because even if something happens, you can just run. to your place, but you can't run from campus to your place.
Exactly. You can just have those few stops. You know, the bus will pick you up there and drop you there. It's better than having nothing.
You know, when we speak about safety of campus, the University of the Free State has no, at a managerial level, there is no intent to address it.
Exactly.
None. Zero. And we join in the club, the student organizations, because we don't have the political will to drive that. He's correct. The what can I say? The conversation of bus shuttles, when I arrived here, it was being had. I'm nearing the end of my studies now. There has not been movement in terms of that.
Exactly.
Understand? And more, a lot of things need transformation here. I mean, we have a clinic on campus, right? Why must I pay to get health services?
And they operate on my weekend. Shoot us schooling a weekend.
Yeah, during weekends.
And apparently, even in emergency, if I collapse at rest and they take me, I have to pay.
Exactly, my man. Look, there is not even a first aid kit person. Maybe I fell there and I broke my ankle. Nobody can come with the first aid and just first aid. I mean, first aid is basic. I mean, you take a person to train in there, and then they are trained in terms of how to handle minor injuries on campus. There is no such a thing. There was a student that had epileptic fit near to study 24/7. I called protection services. The first question that they asked is that, do you have money for an ambulance?
You see.
And you're like, this person needs healthcare. Now you are stressing this person with medical aids and all of these things. Why doesn't the University of the Free State subsidize? I'm not saying maybe they're sitting with, by the way, the University of the Free State is sitting with millions. Actually, millions are nothing. A lot. They're sitting with serious budgets. You understand? But if it's a money issue, right? They've got a relationship with the Department of Health. Something must be done. Something must be approached. They can't do it alone. It's a public university. It's called a public university for a reason.
Yes.
You understand? Because the state subsidizes certain things. You understand?
Yes.
So therefore, why can't you go to the department and say, why can't we bring these people on board and let's do X, Y, and Z? You understand? Those kind of things. But safety off campus has not been prioritized by the University of the Free State. They've got off-campus security company right now that operates with about 5 vehicles. That will, if the whole of universities, if you can check, it cannot be covered by 2 vehicles.
And also, I think I saw that one that escorts people at night.
Yeah, excellent.
You know that one. It doesn't make sense to me, because they take you from campus and they take you to your place, but they don't put you in the vehicle.
No, they drive you. You are walking in front.
You walk in front of the vehicle. I'm telling you serious things, dog. Like
I saw them yesterday when I was coming back from that place of ours.
Yeah.
So I was cupping a friend. We stood there in the corn. So that guy from a distance, he saw there are 3 people there at the corn, and we were having just a minor conversation. You know us, we speak too much. So I think he called those people, which no, I need someone because it's a very long street. And we could see them. Why is that guy walking this slow? Oh, they're accompanying someone. I'm like, yeah, but
that doesn't make sense, dog. Like, why would you accompany me with the car, but you're not putting me in the car?
But
the system is not working, and I'll tell you why the system is not working. Even that thing of it's not going to work, because now that person is sitting there. You call them. There's one student that needs to be taken to Paul Krug. Understand? Now he has to take that one student. Is he going to do that the whole night? Understand? Yeah. Is he practically going to do that with about 50 students, one by one, calling them? It's impractical, and it must. I don't see it being effective. I really don't see it being effective. But the best way in which we can address that is bus shuttles. Because bus shuttles means that you're taken from here to your maybe nearest stop, and then you get entered there.
And I feel like even the cost would be less.
It will be less.
Especially in terms of fuel. Because you see cars when you up and down, but with the bus, you can just tell people that every day at 10 p.m. we are leaving.
Yes. And then we are leaving. And everybody comes to whatever stop we gather there, we enter. If the bus takes you there.
Like these other accommodations, they have shuttles. Why can't the university itself have shuttles for the safety?
Also, there's that thing you mentioned, the one of AR. Emergency services. As resident students, because I think I'm quite informed nyana there. Yabo. there is money allocated for that thing. Yabo. You can, if you are sick, you can call your residence head and tell them, I am sick. These people of ER, they are here already. In fact, the rest head has to call those people of ER, and then there is a code they need to give them, and the rest will pay.
Oh.
The rest will pay. And you know what other residences do? They don't pay. You know why? It's that thing where if ever there is money in the residence account, allegedly the residence head, they get a raise or rather a bonus in December. So now they need to try and not utilize.
Manage.
So now they need to manage the funds. And you know us, we always made sure at the end of the year, the account rest. We don't leave anything.
No, but it's problematic even that thing because that it means that there's a certain benefits for certain students at the University of. So what happens if I'm not a rest child?
Now, if you're not rest affiliated, it's problematic.
It's very, very problematic. Even that itself, there's reform that needs to happen. What people have a thinking that the University of Free State is beautifully, it is no problems. There's a lot of things on the outside. It's a very beautiful one.
Also, our problem is it seems like a lot of students. We have a lot of students who are rather privileged or rather from good backgrounds, man. So even if they are NSFAS funded, they know if NSFAS does not click month end, I'm able to call home. But no, NSFAS didn't click. There is that uncle right. That's one of our major problems. Now, when people nothing is ever urgent in this university. You see with other institutions, like you can say DUT. Then when they say we are moving, they move. Now to students, 7 a.m. tomorrow, you see students 7 a.m. Here you hold a strike with 200 people.
Out of 30-something thousand.
Exactly.
And they don't take you serious.
Exactly. They send you email to their students who are trying to disrupt.
But they like sending emails nowadays and say, no, there's a few students. That time there's about 250 of you on the ground. And I said, so it is an element, and it's very difficult to conscientize people that do not have the needs.
Exactly.
They say, even when you ask them to vote for SRC elections, they're like, what is it going to do for me?
Exactly.
I mean, and I always say, you voting, you don't necessarily vote for yourself. You vote even for the next person.
Yes.
So even if you feel like the vote is not going to benefit you, but somebody will benefit from it.
Mind you, the people there by SRC, those people are risking with their degrees. Those people, some of them, even now, I think from the current SRC, there are people who have cases ongoing. Even from organizations, there are people who have cases ongoing from, because I think Bongo Snati, the one of SASCO, who was once arrested at some point. The same thing with Botsepang Bambo there. Yes, they have current ongoing cases in Jangamaj. You see, it's problematic when you are saying there are people who are risking their degrees fighting for you, and the other people who are close to you, and you are saying, why should I vote?
Look, I'm glad you raised this because it's a sad state of affairs, my brother, where student activists, whether you're from the SRC or student organization, we lay bare our lives, understand, and we risk our degrees. People get arrested, man. They get arrested because they were pushing a certain mandate that will benefit students. I remember there was a strike, I think it was last year, Izaga related, and there was a delay of payments, understand? And then we went and we protested. Right when they arrested a student activist, NSFAS paid. At that moment,
I remember.
they paid. It was done, man. They left. They forgot the bigger picture to say it's Izaga and we must crush this system and we must register our dissatisfaction with it. When the money went in, you saw taxis now at gate 5 free, gate 2.5 free. Now people were moving to Mimosa, waterfront. You understand? They forgot. And 6 packs like that. So now when you
I'm check you guys, man.
Did you hear that guy's corona is back? Apparently, corona is back.
Yeah. No.
So now, is that thing?
You must be very careful with it. So, and what's sad is that there are people who are still attending cases right now, but
Yes.
you will never see one student going there and saying, I know you were doing this for me, so therefore I'm here to just support.
If even last year when we being in Gandol at that time, I think it was around 7, 8 or 9 students there, same day. We went there. I was like, man, this is a few people. This is a few people, and for people who are those people are heroes, man. You know, I wanted this thing of strikes, and it was. I think it was fortunate enough for me with last year. I was a bit under the weather. I didn't, yabo. I didn't attend the strike, and you see us people with hopefully I don't get arrested with looting experience. And when it comes to strikes and the length in which that one went to, I know I was not gonna survive. I was not going to survive.
That was a proper strike.
Yeah, it was. And if we can have more strikes like those ones, I think even the University of the Free State will start taking students serious.
You know, there was a time where we had an engagement with the Vice Chancellor at Albert Wessels. And he says, no, there must be no protests. You know, the university wants to regulate how you protest. It wants to tell you that you must apply, you must
be peaceful.
You must be peaceful. You must be approved. You must have it regulates. You understand how you strike, and then that's how people end up having cases at SDMU, because then there's a protest policy there that you need to follow. But it is a manner in which it tries to silence student activism at the University of the Free State. And I told him when we were there at Albert Wessels to say, you want to do away with politics. If it was up to the Vice Chancellor would do away with politics completely. Because there wouldn't be a political organization on campus, according to him.
There is a member of your organization who once supported that notion of depoliticizing the space. Are you aware of that person? The one they created, those smaller yana things, those ones. AM7.
You see, if he does the case, he's not my comrade. Because then we don't understand the revolution.
At some point, he was president of the institution under SASCO. You don't know that person?
I don't know him.
No, there's a man there. Now he no longer works in the institution. I think he left towards beginning of the year. He was working in one of the offices there. The units of social justice and
I know you are talking about.
That man at some stage they were trying to do away with political organizations, and they tried to create independent candidates. They were deploying independent candidates. It was successful for a year. The following year, students were like, "No, out with this thing. You are not serious. You don't respect us."
So the role of political organizations very from time to time they agitate. They agitate the university, you understand? And the university will only listen to you when you, unfortunately it's like that, and they have themselves to blame. They'll only take you serious once you get violent. You understand? Outside of violence, us saying hey, do allowances or whatever we are protesting for, outside of that, if you are not violent, then they don't listen. If you don't go and disrupt the class, they won't send that email. You understand? Because that's how we get the attention of the university.
You know, these people, they say they want what's this thing? Peaceful protest. You go there, you are on the road, you are walking on the road. They bring those people of protection services before the bulldogs, and they are like, you are on the road, you are disturbing cars. Your protest is no longer peaceful. So where am I supposed to hold this protest at? Because the moment I go and sing in front of main building, you'll say people are working inside. I'm disturbing them.
And classes.
So now I'm also disturbing classes. So now what must happen? What is a peaceful protest? Meaning there's no such thing as a peaceful protest. Yeah, but at least the students of this institution, they've never resorted to burning main building. At least we've never gotten to that level. Yeah, but what we've done, I think, is just minor things. If you've seen what other institutions do, people burn things there.
The only serious time that things escalated was where they burnt the building. It was a race or
I think it was a race.
Yeah,
and things were serious there.
Yeah.
Also, I think now it's up to people of organizations and especially the SRC. We know we have a lot of leadership structures in this campus, and one thing we need to try to and they failed throughout the years, that one of canvassing all those leadership structures and trying to be in sync with them. But now I think also I myself I was not happy with the approach. I think all the previous SRC members, they will tell you I was not happy with how they approached other leaders. But I wonder if they can try to work around the thing. Boma RCs, your political organizations, your associations, all these things. Every time you need to you need to organize a strike, these are people you will need by your side. Yabo. And unfortunately, especially there by RCs, most of them are not political. They just in it for the leadership. Yabo. We are leaders, what, and they don't get the thing of leadership. When you tell them we need numbers, try to organize numbers for us, they say we can't call students, we can't call first years to come and join strikes, because what happens now when they get arrested. And unfortunately, it's not something you can always overlook, because some organizations are able to organize lawyers for their people. So with rest affiliated students, one of our issues was, if we call out students, how at least do we have the backing? If ever these students get arrested, are we going to be able to organize lawyers for them? Fortunately enough, when one of our students got arrested last year, the people he got arrested with were people who were able to organize lawyers. And the lawyer was like, I'm going to do pro bono for all of you. So going forward, it's one of those things, you need to get these people in one space and tell them, we are going to move around this way. If ever people are arrested, we also have measures as to how we will try to, because now it's a lot of things are unorganized, and also everyone wants to be a champion. They want the glory all to themselves.
Want to be Mandela.
All of us, I want to be the hero. I want to be the hero, and it's problematic, especially there by organizations. Us, we are the problematic one.
But then I hear you guys. One thing I've noticed is that politics is something that is very broad. We can dwell into it. We can talk about it the whole day. So now, I'm sure I'm going to need part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6, because NicD Conversations is here to stay. So we need to dwell much into all this politics and things, because there's a lot of things that I've learned from the conversation that we had today, and I'm sure that you also learned something from him. We all learned something from each other. Hopefully the viewers as well will learn a thing or two with regard to the conversation that we had, because it's very, very broad. So now I just quickly want to thank you guys for pulling up, and I want a favor from one of you guys. I want one of you guys to wrap up the show for us.
Be my guest, Naledi, man.
Naledi, please wrap up the show for us.
It closed.
Yeah, wrap it up.
I think the burning issue is that of elections right now. Young people at the University of the Free State must go out and vote. What is important, I don't want to say go vote for this, go vote for that, but what is important, because if once we lose the basic activity, understand, because you can't speak about voting for another political party where you've left the conversation of voting itself, the conversation of voting, because that comes before deciding where you're going to or who you're going to vote. So young people must in a sense go out in their numbers to go and register their vote at the polls. And in about 3 months we're going to SRC elections. I think end of August we'll be going to SRC elections. That itself, they must look out. They must start looking out to what political parties are doing on the ground, and what are they saying, what message are they sending out across to them, and they must start participating in politics, because then they'll be able to shape what the University of the Free State should be beyond themselves, for their children and their grandchildren. Understand? It's only politics that will change that, because outside of that, there's nothing that's going to happen. So that's all I can say for now. And thank you for having us, my brother. It must be said that we wish you all the best for your new podcast, and we hope that it grows. Hopefully when we come back, whenever we come back, you'll be sitting on about 1,000 subscribers, something. You understand? It's the consistency must be there, and I think students need this platform.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
It must be a platform in which now students come and they realize what is happening in their surroundings, and there must not be cornered in their little spaces and not understand what are other things that are happening outside of that. So this platform should give those students an insight, and people that are outside the University of the Free State, and give them an insight of what is happening in terms of the University of the Free State.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man, for smoothing it up, man. And also thank you guys, as Prince lady. Thank you very much, guys, for putting up. Other than that, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, males and females. These people always disturb me when I bring my out. But other than that, yeah, you had me, males and females, the LGBTQI plus community at large. You are not excluding anyone. I'm your host, Nicholas. Follow me there on IG to stay updated on the upcoming episodes and also updates on the channel itself. It's at Nico_Nicolax. Don't leave the channel without subscribing, liking, comment your thoughts below, share with your friends, tell them to subscribe and share with their friends. I love you guys. Shout out.
Company,
It's breezy.
working on myself, I need to shine. Shorty falling in love with a star. Nike on my kicks, I need a ball. Missing on that ass, I got a call. Baby, come and tell me, would you ride with me? Ride with me. Maybe you could talk to me. Anything, baby, would you shine with me? Side with me. Girl, I know it's dangerous, I need your company. Baby, tell me, would you ride with me? Ride with me. Maybe you could talk to me. Anything, baby, would you shine with me? Side with me. Girl, I know it's dangerous, I need your company.